So our learning of the month is Kelton Presents. So Kelton, you had an idea. Are you there, Kelton?
Yeah.
Okay, we can hear you, but we can't see you quite yet. But you had an idea. Tell us about your idea.
So my idea was for kids to know how their teachers help them learn best around the school. And
Okay.
so I interviewed some teachers, like Miss Lyons is in the video, and they told how they help you learn best.
Yeah, so you asked us some great questions. You asked us how we thought kids learn best, and then you also asked us how we feel like we help do that
The whole
and pull
school.
that off. The whole school, right?
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready to show them the video that you put together?
Yeah. How are we supposed to do that?
I don't know. Enter Mr. Nelson. Okay, so the question is, how do kids learn best? At OHMS, and then how can I help them? So I keep this in my office. Can you see this? All right. This is our mission for Old High. It is multi-sensory learning experiences to increase depth of knowledge. So that sums up how I think, well, not just Old High kids, but all kids learn best, is when you are able to use all of your senses when you're learning something, you're going to learn it at a deeper level, or at least remember it a little bit better. So things like making something, or getting your hands on manipulatives in math, that's tactile. Those things you get to use your hands. And so I think that when you're actively engaged in the work, that you're going to be more apt to learn those sorts of things. So the next part of that question is, how do I help? Okay, so this is different because I'm not a teacher, right? I used to be, but I'm not right now. I'm the principal. So I'll give an example from today, all right? A kid came in and, well, I'm going to be honest, the kid was in trouble. And he was really frustrated, and I asked what was frustrating, and he was explaining to me that he doesn't really like school right now. Like, he's not into it. He doesn't understand why he has to learn some of the things that you're learning in class. Like, I bet there's a lot of you out there that think coefficients is not going to be useful when you grow up, so why am I working so hard to learn something that makes no difference in my life? So that's a problem for me to solve, right? So here was my suggestion. What do you like? And the kid liked drawing. So I'm like, have you ever heard of Sketchnotes? Right? Have you guys ever heard of Sketchnotes? So he likes drawing. So try to make things more interesting for yourself. Don't wait on someone to make it interesting for you. So I took an online class on Sketchnotes. I'm going to try to find them really quick. And I showed them to him because if you like to draw, here's an example of Sketchnotes, icons that you can add to your notes while you're taking notes, or there was containers or annotation but I like lots of colors and I like drawing too, and those sorts of things. So sometimes I can help kids when they're struggling to come up with ways to make things more interesting and more fun, and don't wait on the teacher to make it multisensory, but you have the opportunity to come up with those things as well. The other part that I do is I encourage teachers to think of ways to make it multi-sensory, so that when they're in classes, they're thinking of ways to make it engaging and impactful for students. So I think that's my role. I hope I do a good job, and that everybody, at least sometimes, loves to learn.
Okay, so how do kids learn best? Well, my kids are learning through stations and being able to do gallery walks and reflect on each other's work. So just being able to come back and give ideas on how the kids can make work better, and just we talked today about looking through different perspectives, because each table that rotated through to see the other group's work. It was really cool because they were like, oh, I never thought about it like that. Or let me try that. Oh, ooh, I'm glad I didn't do that. So it's just a learning experience, which is super cool. Those are the moments when I can just step back and the kids can run the show. I love it. I like at OMHS, we have, I think our whole school just has a really awesome vibe where it's kid driven. And I don't know, the kids are very friendly towards each other and they're very helpful. So we just kind of have a chill vibe.
Okay, how do kids work best? I think kids work best in our Old High mission and vision is that kids work best and learn best or engage the most when they're involved in multi-sensory experiences to increase their depth of knowledge, which means that we have high expectations for 5th and 6th graders here at Old High. It's a major transition from elementary to middle school, and there's a lot more freedom with that. There's also a responsibility with that, and we have high expectations for both, and especially academically, but we try to be student-centered and student-led by engaging more than just the old-fashioned way of here's the information, here, now you take it down. No, instead we try to create lots of experiences for movement and engagement and some fun too. And then how does the school work best? The school works best. We have some really excellent teachers who do a wonderful job of letting students lead. We have curriculum that is student-led where we lead by your questions and we engage in your questions and in your inquiries, and we have teachers who do everything top to bottom, whether it's behavior expectations for the class or creating a culture for the class or how to fix problems in the class, be it an academic problem or a social problem. A lot of that is the teachers are asking the students to bring forth the solutions and how to engage deeper and go deeper. And so while the teachers have a plan for every day because there has to be some structure, at the same time the next day a lot of time is led not just with the teacher structure, but within the teacher structure is led by where the students performed the day before. So that really, in a lot of ways, the students set the tone for the next day and the next day.
Okay. Kids at OHMS learn best, I believe, through doing. Kids in general do. Hands-on, asking questions, learning for themselves, discovering. And the second question was, again, what was it?
How does OHMS work well all together?
I think that's key, actually. In the question, I think, is the answer altogether. Working in teams. There is very much a team spirit at Old High, and I feel as though no one learns alone. I feel like when we work together is when we're at our best, and that is what Old High is no one stands alone, and that's how we work.
Students learn best by paying attention to their own learning and by having their teachers, I call it friendly spying, to make sure they know what to do best. Some students learn best by listening, some learn best by reading, some learn best by making. All of us learn best by combining all of our favorite methods and trying some new ones.
Okay, so I actually came into Miss Lyons to share a story with her that was very exciting this week, where the students made the lesson more engaging because they turned it into a real-world activity. We're studying copyright law and what that means for kids when they put photos into their documents or their slideshows. And we found a picture of a dog that we wanted to use, but it was copyright and we couldn't put it in our slideshow. And the students said, well, can't we email the photographer for permission? So we did. We found his information online, and he works for National Geographic, and we emailed him, and we heard back from the man that's in charge of his editorial license, and next week we get to go through a mock application to use his photograph. And so they turned the lesson that was kind of into a real world experience, and we are all just really over the moon excited about it. So, super cool.
Okay, Kelton, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am.
Nice job putting all of that together. Was that hard to do?
Not as hard as I planned.
Not as hard as you thought it might be? Okay,
Yeah.
was there anything, what did you get out of that experience? What did you find talking to the teachers? What surprised you? Was there anything that surprised you?
Kinda. Some teachers have a different way of teaching the kids, and some have like your way, like Mr. Chambers. He got kind of goes with you, and yeah, that's kind of what I learned.
Yeah, so just like you guys, all the teachers are just a little bit different, aren't they? Is that what you found?
Yeah.
Okay. One thing that I noticed is that they kind of all mentioned that the students really have a lot of power, probably more power than you think. Like they let you kind of guide the discussion and where you want to go next. And if you want to make something like in Ms. Zimmerly's class, the students made it more of an experience, and the students are the ones that had that idea. Don't be afraid to take your learning into your own hands and figure out a way to make it more interesting for yourself or make it more engaging. That's kind of what I heard too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Kelton, thank you so much for doing that video for you. Round of applause for Kelton. Good job.
Thank you.
Kelton has learned a lot this year through helping with morning announcements and through WeVideo with editing. Are you in the film club as well?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
And through the film club, so I'm glad to see your product. Okay, guys, it's time to go have fun in our club. Speaking of clubs, look at your club leaders and have a great day.
Bye-bye.